Hey guys, it's Libby from Silverdingo. Halloween is coming up soon and I wanted to do a fun Halloween video, but I could not be bothered with trying to find like clothing for a costume, so I just wanted to do a fun makeup look. And because I'm not really that amazing at like blood and gore and SFX stuff like that, I decided to do a Barbie makeup look. I kind of was inspired by the Colourpop Barbie makeup look. I don't know if you've seen, Colourpop has done like a few makeup looks for Halloween and the Barbie one was so pretty. So I'm inspired by that. I also have a couple other pictures which I'll put on the screen of just like a classic headshot of Barbie. Let's get into it. I'm first going to start off with the NYX Photo Loving Primer. I'm not usually a primer person, but the foundation that I want to use today works better with a primer, so I'm going to do that. My body's burning because I know you're coming. Take my hands and go. Today I'm using the I.Y.F.F.E. I don't know if it has like a proper name. It just says oil-free SPF 15 sunscreen, but it's a foundation. It has SPF in it. I have not used this on my channel before. I've been testing it out for I think like 2 weeks or so, like 3 weeks. It is a little dark for me and it oxidizes, but I just blend it down and it looks fine. It just looks like I'm a little bit more tan, but I actually really like the finish. It's kind of dewy and like medium coverage. I'd recommend any kind of like medium to high coverage for this look, but this foundation is pretty good. I think it was like $11 from Kmart. Now let's move on to concealer. These aren't my fave concealers, but it's kind of what I've got at the moment that is cruelty free, and I've actually got some in the tube. So I've got the LA Girl Pro Conceal and the Essence Stale Day 16-hour concealer. I've been testing this out and it's very low coverage, but it has a peachy undertone, so I like mix this with the LA Girl one and it looks quite good under my eyes. It also creases. This is probably not a recommendation from me, but I'm going to use it anyway. And it's actually a pretty good eyeshadow base, which doesn't make sense because I just said it creases, but for some reason it is really good for an eyeshadow base, so I'm going to use that later on. I just have this little brush from BH Cosmetics to blend it. Pretty much all of my brushes are from BH Cosmetics. If not, there's some really old ones I got from AliExpress or something, I don't know. I'm going to set underneath my eyes with the NYX HD Finishing Powder. I have some other things I want to do to my face, so I'm not going to set the entire face, but I need to set under my eyes, otherwise they will crease very quickly. So I'm going to take the same brush. Next I'm going to take some liquid illuminator, and I don't really want to use this, but I also really do, because I think liquid illuminator is kind of important to this look. I feel like it's going to make it more glam and glowy and pretty, but I only have this NARS Copacabana one, and NARS is no longer cruelty free, which sucks, but when I did buy this it actually was cruelty free. But I am going to use this because it's really going to bring the look together, but I don't really want you to buy it. I'd rather recommend like a NYX liquid illuminator or something like that, because they have some really pretty ones that are also cheaper and cruelty free. And I don't even know like where you can get NARS in New Zealand. Maybe Mecca Maxima or something like that, but NYX is easier to get hold of as well. I'm just popping this on with my beauty blender. This is another reason I don't like using a beauty blender for foundation, because mine is covered in highlighter. I'm also going to add some of this Colourpop blush in Never Been Kissed. I'm going to add more blush on later, but this is just a cream blush to add as a base for the whole rest of our blush. Now I'm going to set the rest of my face with my powder.
It's delicious.
Now for some contour, I'm going to use the Australis AC on Tour palette, and I don't want to look too like Kardashian or too like bronze or anything. I just want to chisel my face a little bit because I feel like Barbie is meant to have like a nice cut jawline, but I don't want to go overboard with this because it's more supposed to be about the blush than the contour. I'm also gonna snatch my nose a little bit with this contour palette and this little brush. In such a love, and I'm covered. I'm now going to attempt to do Barbie's eyebrows. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to use the NYX Tame & Frame Brow Pomade. Brow pencil would also be really good for this because Barbie's eyebrows are quite thin and very shaped, but I do not have a brow pencil right now, so I'm just going to use this. It'll be fine. I'm using this Carousel Cosmetics liner brush, and you don't have to worry about like trying to create brow hairs because it's kind of, it looks very painted on, so just focus on trying to get that cut shape that she has. We're gonna clean this up with concealer because it looks a little crazy right now. You could, of course, block out your eyebrows and completely redo them to look like Barbie's, but I didn't want to do that because that is not very easy to do, and I want this to be like a pretty easy tutorial to follow. I'm just gonna brush the eyebrows to get them mixed with the pomade and like to try and shape them a little more. They're obviously not going to look exactly like Barbie's because they're still my eyebrows, but we can make them a little more into her shape. This works better if you have thinner eyebrows than I do. But basically what I can see from photos is that it kind of goes up and then the tail doesn't go like straight down. It is quite a small angle between like this part of the brow and the tail. So I'm trying to like make the tail of my brow not go straight down so much. I'm gonna take this little LA Girl concealer, put a bit on the back of my hand, and just try and shape more with this little pointy brush. For my eyeshadow, I'm going to be using quite a few different palettes, and you do not need to use these exact palettes because there's probably some palettes which have a better selection of colours so that like all the colours are in one palette rather than like I have 3 and a single shadow here. And like this palette is really expensive, the Anastasia Beverly Hills one here. So this is just like some palettes that I have that have colours like this, but anything that looks similar is gonna work like fine. So first I'm gonna put on this Essence Stale Day concealer as an eyeshadow base. First I'm going to take the Morphe 35B palette. This is a really good palette for any bright looks that you want to do. As you can see, it has like the rainbow basically. And I'm going to take this white colour and mix it a tiny bit with the like more beige colour underneath. I want quite a light base, but I don't want it like bright white. For Barbie's eye look, there's kind of pink above, but right in the crease there's some brown. But I'm going to start off with the pink. I'm just going to take a very light pink colour from the Morphe palette and blend that in the crease. I am actually going to try and find another brush because this is not really precise enough. I've got this other one and it is kind of a square type brush. I don't know, it looks a bit more precise and I need it to be a bit more precise because most of Barbie's look is quite white and bright and there's only like a tiny bit of colour in the crease, so I don't want to be going all over the show with this colour. Once you've done that, you can take a much brighter pink, take that in the crease. And we want to blend it more up. I don't really want this on the eyelid. More in the crease and above. Although we don't want it to go too high because we're going to add a nice bright highlight above this. I'm going to take my bigger fluffier brush and blend those out a bit more. I'm now going to attempt to try and add the very dark brown in the crease. I'm going to start off with this single shadow from Morphe called Drive In, and then I'm going to go in with a darker brown, and for this I want a very precise brush, so I'm going to use this very pointy one here. I just need to wipe off this brush a little bit. I recommend having a towel so you can just scrub your brushes off if you need to multi-use them in one look. I'm also going to add this underneath my eye, just on the lash line. Now I'm going to take Cypress Umber from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm annoyed because I can't find another colour in my collection quite like this. It's a very dark colour, but it's still brown. Like all my other dark colours like this are more black. And it's definitely not meant to be black in the crease. I'm definitely going to have to add more concealer on the lid to cut it out again. Yeah, I've royally messed it up on this side. This right side of my face looks better. I'm going to use this LA Girl Strobe Light Strobing Powder in 120 watt to highlight like on the lid of my eye, in a corner, and also on the brow bone, because Barbie has quite a lot of bright white around her eye to make her eyes look very big and pop on her face. That was a lot of hand gestures, but it is called for. Added a little more of the matte white colour on my lid. I think that kind of helped and just like blended a tiny bit more, and I think that is the eyeshadow done. And now moving on to fake eyelashes and eyeliner. This is gonna be a mission. If I struggle too much with this, I might just end up calling it quits and just using my mascara, which the one I use is really good anyway, but I really want to try and use these. This is the I.Y.F.F.E Natural Lash Kit, but these don't look very natural. They look pretty big actually, but that's good because it is a Barbie makeup look. Girl, what? What is this? seriously cannot get this. I think I might just put on mascara because this is a disaster. I'm just gonna do some eyeliner and mascara. I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild liquid eyeliner. This is so good. It's so black and it's only like $7. Turns out I also suck at eyeliner, but I kind of cleaned that up with concealer and such. Now we're just going to pop on some of this Essence Rock and Doll XXL mascara. It makes your eyes look so good. We are nearly done. Just going to add some of the Makeup Revolution London blush. This is the Sugar and Spice palette. And I'm going to add this very pink blush and this one here, I think. Just go for very pink. And we want a lot, but definitely still blend it nicely, even though we are definitely piling the blush on. I want it to look very blushed, but not like a clown. Also gonna add a tiny bit of highlight. I've got a bit of liquid illuminator underneath, but I'm just gonna add a little bit from this I Heart Makeup Bronze and Glow palette. Just this nice gold highlight here. Just the smallest bit. You don't want to go overboard because on a Barbie doll she doesn't have like a giant blinding stripe of highlight. And lastly, we have the lip color. I think this is going to be so pretty. This is the Wet n Wild lipstick in Retro Pink, and it is a metallic pinky beautiful lipstick. Oof. That was NYX Matte Finish Setting Spray. Thank you for watching this Barbie inspired makeup look, cute little Halloween do. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!